Welcome back to TechFlik. I know I've been away for quite some time. I apologize for my absence, but lately I've been busy with work. But right now I'm back, and it's September 17, so it's the launch of the RTX 3080. And if you're looking to build a system with the RTX 3080, this online buying guide may be for you. So we have a lot of things to discuss, so let's roll the intro. Alright, so September 17 is here and RTX 3080 has just launched. And if you're living in Singapore and you have no idea where to buy this RTX 3080, don't worry, Nvidia got you covered. You can go to Nvidia's website for RTX 3080 and you can click on this green button, see all buying options. And if you click over here, you can see where are the places to buy the RTX 3080. So if you've been to Simlink, you probably know most of these stores over here. You have Bizgram, Fuel, Dynacore, Video Pro, MediaMart, and so forth. We even have Aftershock. But for this buying guide, let's go to Lazada. So we're just going to click on Lazada. Alright, so once you're in Lazada, just type in RTX 3080 over the search bar and search for it. And now we are presented with few options. So these are some of the options that is available right now in Singapore. So we have add-in board partners like Palit, Asus, Gigabyte, ZOTAC, and also MSI. And if you glance through the pricing, most of them cost around 1,199 Singapore dollars, with some exception like the MSI, which is slightly more by $10, $1,209. And also there are some that is cheaper like the ZOTAC over here, which is 1,100 Singapore dollars. So there are few choices. I wouldn't say a lot, but for now it's okay, I guess. So let's briefly see some of the designs that they have, and we're just gonna pick one for this online buying guide. We have the Palit RTX 3080 over here. It looks kind of crazy. From the photo, it looks kind of crazy. The lighting is like in the middle. For the Asus, it looks pretty normal. It looks like it doesn't have any RGB lighting. I could be wrong though. The Gigabyte looks pretty familiar. The design looks like the RTX 20 series. The MSI also looks familiar. The Ventus series from the 20 series. Alright, so I'm kind of leaning towards the ZOTAC and the Palit version of their RTX 3080. First of all, you can get it pretty cheap at $1,100. I'm kind of leaning into these two, but let's just see how it looks like on their website. Alright, so I'm right now in Palit's website. I'm just going to see how it looks like. We're not going to go through into much of the details. I'm just going to click on gallery over here. And yeah, so this is the Palit Gaming Pro RTX 3080. It kind of gives me like the EVGA feel over here with the skeleton frame design. You can see over here the back plate. They went with a bronzy look, like a brownish look. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The rear I/O ports. You have one HDMI, 3 display port, and you only need two 8-pin PCIe connectors to run this RTX 3080. Oh, and it's also a 2-slot design over here. I think it only lights up in the middle over here and also at the sides. So not much of the lighting effect, I guess. But it looks okay, just that I'm not so sure how I feel about the back plate with the bronzy kind of look. I don't know how it will color coordinate with the rest of the case. But if that doesn't concern you and if you like it, go get it. Now we are at the ZOTAC page. This is their RTX 3080 Trinity lineup. And ZOTAC looks kind of normal with 3-fan design too, and some lightings at the side over here. It has this odd looking design. I think it looks kind of slanted towards the right. Maybe just me. The rear I/O, same thing, 1 HDMI and 3 display port, and you have the backplate. They went with a matte black, like kind of grayish backplate. Looks kind of nice, and I believe you can also control the RGB lighting over here. So yeah, it looks pretty normal, but I like the accents of the colors, not too bright, not too crazy, and overall the matte black and also the matte black finish for the backplate. Alright, so we just went through the ZOTAC and the Palit design. I prefer the ZOTAC design more, but if you like to go crazy with the design, like the skeleton frame and also the Iron Man kind of look RGB, go with the Palit. But for this buying guide, I'll stick with the ZOTAC Trinity. And right over here you can see there's two prices for the ZOTAC Trinity RTX 3080. One is at 1,100 Singapore dollars and the other at 1,199 Singapore dollars. So one is from Nvidia and the other is from ZOTAC. But if you see the overall pricing of the RTX 3080, you can see that they are all around 1,199 Singapore dollars. So we're just gonna lock in that price for our budget for this online buying guide, just to be safe. But if you can get it at 1,100 Singapore dollars, please do so. Plus $99, you can use that money to do quite a lot of things like upgrading your RAM, like upgrading your CPU, upgrading your CPU cooler, or even upgrading your case with $99. Alright, so now that we roughly know what the RTX 3080 costs in Singapore, which is 1,199 Singapore dollars, let's go through the other components and see how we can fit the other components into our $2,500 Singapore budget. Alright, so we are now in Amazon.sg website. First up, we have the processor. So for this online buying guide, we're gonna go with the Ryzen 7 3700X, which is an 8-core 16-thread processor. 8-core and 60-thread processor is a lot, and if you're only using it for gaming, it's more than enough for gaming. 8-core 16-thread processor is great for video editing too, and if you do a lot of rendering videos and also play some games on the side, this is a great processor to consider. So this comes at $393.07, and it also includes a Rift Prism LED cooler, which is the cooler over here. It is actually a decent cooler with RGB lighting at the side, but for this build I think we should go with a slightly better cooler. So we're gonna take a look at an all-in-one CPU cooler, and that is the DEEPCOOL Castle 240 RGB version 2. So right now we're in Shopee.sg. So if you haven't seen my review on this cooler, it's a fantastic cooler with great RGB implementation in my opinion, and it comes with an RGB hub, a fan hub, which is useful for your case fans or any other RGB lighting. Take note that this is the version 2, and it comes with a 240mm radiator. Alright, next we're gonna look at the motherboard. So since we're going with a black and white theme, we are also gonna have a black and white motherboard. In this case with the ASROCK B550 Steel Legend. I've heard great things about this board, and I think it pairs well with the 3700X. So this motherboard comes with a B550 chipset, and of course it supports the 3rd generation AMD AM4 Ryzen, so we won't have any issue with the 3700X processor, and it also supports a future AMD Ryzen processor as well, so you're probably future-proof in 1 or 2 generation more. So taking a look at the design, it has this camouflage look on the board itself, but it's mainly more towards the black and white tone, some RGB lighting over here, and overall I think it looks pretty great for our build. So this board comes in at 263 Singapore dollars and 75 cents. It also comes with the integrated IO shield, so you don't have to mess around with slotting in the IO shield and trying to get the motherboard to fit into the IO shield. It's always frustrating. Alright, so still in Amazon.sg, we're going to take a look at the RAM. For this build, I've chosen the 16GB kit, which is 2x8GB at 3200MHz. This RAM is by TeamGroup T-Force VULCAN. This is a CL16 with 3200MHz speed. Ryzen is going to benefit a lot from a fast RAM. And this RAM looks pretty okay. The heatsink is grey in color, and it looks kind of like a wing, like the design of the logo itself. So yeah, 16GB is quite okay, and with a motherboard Steel Legend, in the future you can add in 2 more RAM, so there's upgradability options in the future. And this RAM costs $75.50 in Singapore. Next, for storage, we're just gonna go with a 500GB storage, but this is the Samsung 970 EVO NVMe SSD. I believe this is just a Gen 3 NVMe, but it's gonna give you superb performance, up to around 6 to 7 times faster than an SSD, and if you're still using a hard drive, this will provide you up to maybe 22 times the speed of a hard drive. And it's great. Faster is always great, right? So this NVMe M.2 SSD costs $120.19 in Singapore. Next, we can add in a Seagate Barracuda 2TB hard drive. This is a 3.5-inch normal hard drive with a 7200 RPM. So we're going to mainly use this for storing media. You're gonna put in your photos, your videos into this 2TB, while you leave the 500GB NVMe more for your games or applications like Photoshop or any video editing applications. So this 2TB is gonna cost $75.50 in Singapore. And if you don't think you need a 2TB hard drive, you can always put this $75.50 into maybe a 1TB NVMe. So that's up to you. But for this online buying guide, we're just gonna include a 2TB hard drive. Next, for the power supply, we're going to go with the SILVERSTONE ET750HG. So we're actually going with the 750 watt because Nvidia recommends a 750 watts for RTX 3080. You can probably get away with a 650 watt power supply. We're just going to stick with the 750 watt to play safe. And this is also 80 plus gold power supply. 80 plus gold gives you better efficiency, and as you can see over here, it's also a semi-modular power supply. So lesser cable means lesser work on cable management. And you can see over here, it's 750 watt 80 plus gold semi-modular, and it also comes with a flat black cables, which is a nice addition. And also it comes with a 5-year warranty, which is great. So this costs 129 Singapore Lastly, for the case, we are gonna go with the NZXT H510 mid-tower compact ATX case. So as we are going with black and white theme, we are just gonna go with the white case. Alright, so the NZXT H510 case is pretty common. You've probably seen this case plenty of times, but it's such a clean looking case, very minimalist, especially the white version I feel. And it comes with two fans, one at the rear and one at the top. So with our setup with our AIO CPU cooler, it's gonna look something like this, where we're gonna put our AIO CPU cooler, the DEEPCOOL Castle 240 RGB CPU cooler over at the front here, and we have two fans at the back. So it's gonna pull in air from the front and then push the air out from the case from the rear and the top, which is great. And it also comes with a tempered glass side panel over here, which runs 3/4 of the case, kind of like the Fantex. And yeah, I kind of dig the all white look, and you can imagine how it will look like with our Steel Legend motherboard over here and our ZOTAC RTX 3080 over here. Now talking about the ZOTAC RTX 3080, and since this is a compact mid-tower case, there's probably not much clearance to put the 3-fan design graphics card over here. I've checked the clearance, put up to 381mm without a front water cooler in stock, and up to 325mm with front water cooler in stock. So since we're gonna go with the AIO CPU cooler, we only have around 325mm. But if you look at the ZOTAC RTX 3080 that we've chosen in the beginning, under specification, we can see that the cut length is 317, alright, so around 318mm in length, while the NZXT can support up to 325mm with front water cooler in stock. So that's great. So it's gonna fit in nicely. You can imagine that everything is gonna look pretty compact. You have the AIO CPU cooler, you have the Steel Legend white board over here, you have the ZOTAC RTX 3080 over here, and yeah, it's gonna be a great build. So this H510 is gonna cost you $122.80 in Singapore. And if you do not catch any of the stuff that I mentioned before this, like all the components and all the pricing, don't worry, I'm gonna summarize it over here.
I never make promises, 'cause I don't keep them. Never make promises, 'cause I don't keep them.
Alright, so we actually exceeded by $8.81. Now that's not too bad. We tried our best to keep it under 2,500 Singapore dollars. And for my international viewers, 2,500 Singapore dollars is around 1,850 US dollars. Alright, so that's it guys for this online buying guide. I hope you find this RTX 3080 and B550 black and white theme build useful. RTX 3080 is gonna be a really powerful card. So I'm just gonna leave all the links in the description down below if you're interested to purchase any of the components in this online buying guide. And it has been really fun to search and source for parts to meet a certain budget. In this case, the 2,500 Singapore dollars budget. To meet 2,500 Singapore dollars budget is relatively okay with a $1,200 card. So you have the GPU for $1,200, which is almost half of the whole budget. And yeah, if you're planning to build this exact same build, let me know the outcome of the build. And if you like to see more of this video, or if you have any comments, do leave a comment down below. And as always, if you like what you see, click the like button. If you love what you see, subscribe for more future tech content. Until next time, this is TechFlik signing out.